students, welcome to the class, and the course you are studying is Animal Diversity 2 Biology of Chordates. Welcome to the next module, and the instructor for this course is Dr. Sneha, Assistant Professor, Department of Zoology, St. Joseph's College for Women, Vishakhapatnam. The topic you are studying is General Characters of Class Amphibia. Contents of this topic includes general characters of class Amphibia, Amphibia external features, its exoskeleton, various anatomical systems. And learning outcomes includes you can identify key characteristics such as the dual life stages of class Amphibia, their aquatic and terrestrial forms, moist skin for gaseous exchange, and typical biphasic life cycle involving metamorphosis. Understand their ecological roles and adaptations in both aquatic and terrestrial environments. You can analyze how these external adaptations can contribute to survival in varied habitats and their role in thermoregulation. Now, the general characters of class Amphibia. Amphibians are first cold-blooded vertebrates to evolve and move onto the land for the first time, because if you're going to see, the previous class is Pisces, where we can see all the fishes are completely aquatic. But these are the first formed vertebrates, the vertebrates which started moving on the land. And the amphibians are, most of them are carnivorous, they are oviparous, the tetrapod vertebrates. The class Amphibia comprises approximately 3,000 number of species worldwide. Amphibians are one of the nature's marvels actually, because we can see or observe on they can live both on land and water. That's what actually the name Amphibia itself, the meaning is amphibious means both. That means they can live on land and as well as water. They are the thriving primarily in, mostly we can see in the tropical region. The external features of amphibians, we can see that the amphibian's body is segmented into three divisions mainly, that is what, head and trunk. Some amphibians, they don't have tail, but on the other hand, in some amphibians like salamanders, we can see even the third body division, the tail is also present. Their skin is smooth or rough, but they contain glands that actually maintains or keeps their skin moist. The scales are typically absent, but in some species such as Sicilians, we can see in this diagram, this is an example for Sicilian, uh, they might have scales which are hidden beneath the skin. Next character, what we are discussing is about the locomotory organelles in amphibians. They have the paired fins, or they may have unpaired fins. We are talking about their aquatic amphibians. If the amphibians are terrestrial, they're going to have, you can see here in the picture of frog, where it can have both the paired limbs are there. That is what, presence of four limbs and as well as the hind limbs. But even in amphibians, we can see some amphibians are completely limbless, as we can see in this picture. They belong to the category of Sicilians basically, where they are completely going to live themselves, that means underneath the earth in as a burrowing mode. That's what the lifestyle what they're going to lead. So that's why during the course of evolution they completely lost the limbs. So we can see all the three category of locomotory organelles. That is what, presence of fins in aquatic amphibians, presence of limbs in terrestrial forms, and some amphibians are still the limbless forms. Now coming to the endoskeleton in amphibians is bony, and notochord is replaced by the vertebral column, a true vertebrate characteristic. Amphibian skull features the two occipital condyles, and as well as these condyles are basically the round projections or knobs at the base of the skull that articulates with the first vertebrae of the vertebral column. Now, the respiratory organs. In the class Amphibia, as we can see, the amphibians, they can lead both aquatic and as well as terrestrial mode of life. So that's why the aquatic amphibians, they're going to have gills, and some amphibians, they're going to have lungs. That means the terrestrial ones, and as well as we can even see in the amphibians, even the buccopharyngeal cavity, the buccal cavity, and as well as skin are also going to act as the respiratory organs. Now about digestive system, amphibians possess a digestive system which is adapted for both aquatic and as well as terrestrial mode of life. If we're going to talk about the characteristic of the mouth, what they are having. Mouth is very wide in nature, as we can see in this diagram here, and inside the mouth we can see the presence of very sharp type of teeth. The gripping teeth belongs to the category of homodont type of teeth are actually present, and as well as a muscular tongue is also present. In amphibians, we can see a protrusible type of tongue. Here in this image, you can clearly see this. See, the anterior point of the tongue is going to be attached. On the other hand, the posterior tip or the point is basically free, and the alimentary canal opens into the cloaca. The alimentary canal, as well as if you're going to talk about urinary tract and reproductive tract, all the three are going to open into a common chamber, that is what known as cloaca. As we can see in this diagram here, this is the cloaca which open outside through a cloacal aperture. So what is the uniqueness of this cloaca is, as we talked about, the three openings: the opening of alimentary canal, urinary tract, and the reproductive tract. All the three are going to open into a common chamber. That is what we're calling it as a cloaca. That is what I'm saying. The opening of cloaca is basically known as cloacal aperture, which is basically serving as a single exit point. Heart. In amphibians, we can see a three-chambered heart consisting of two auricles, left and right auricle, or left and right atrium, with one single ventricle, that is what present, and as well as we can see the presence of other structures such as conus arteriosus and as well as sinus venosus are also present in the heart of amphibians. Both hepatic portal system and renal portal systems are very well developed in amphibians, and the blood contains red blood cells which are biconvex and oval in shape, and they are nucleated cells. Now about kidney, amphibians have mesonephric type of kidney. Their urinary bladder is large, and the tailed amphibians and as well as larvae and as well as like salamanders, which are tailed amphibians, they are basically ammonotelic type of category because they're going to excrete ammonia as their waste material. On the other hand, if you're going to talk about frogs and toads, they belongs to the category of ureotelic category because they're going to excrete the urea as their end waste product. Brain and sense organs, and brain is very poorly developed in the amphibians. They're going to have 10 pairs of cranial nerves. The ear comprises an internal ear and a middle ear, and we can see here a notch or like thing, that is what the tympanum, where that is what outer membrane completely covers this structure. And as well as the eyes, we can see a very big large eyes. The protrusible eyes are basically present here, and they have eyelids also, the very well developed. And on the eyes we can see one more extra layer or covering is present, that is what nictitating membrane, because of their aquatic mode of life. Next, about reproductive system. In amphibians, the sexes are completely separate. Male without copulatory organs because their fertilization is external. Gonoducts opens into cloaca. That's what we already discussed. And development is indirect because the presence of the tadpole larva. And cleavage is holoblastic but unequal type. And extra embryonic membranes are absent, and as we already discussed, that is what larva is basically tadpole, which is an aquatic animal completely, and which through the process of metamorphosis, this tadpole larva is changes itself into a adult. Now, summary of this topic. Amphibians are characterized by dual life stages with aquatic larval stage and terrestrial adults, featuring smooth, moist skin, fur, especially for gas exchange, and undergoing metamorphosis. They lack a true exoskeleton but rely on their skin's permeability for respiration and water balance. External features include limbs adapted both for terrestrial locomotion and aquatic movement, along with specialized glands like mucus and poisonous glands in some amphibians. Their anatomical systems include a respiratory system utilizing both skin and lungs, a circulatory system with a three-chambered heart, and a versatile digestive system tailored to various diets, that means aquatic and as well as terrestrial. These adaptations reflect their ecological versatility across aquatic and terrestrial habitats. And these are the references cited for this topic. Thank you, students, for listening the class.